First, I want to give thanks to God for letting us be here today and to be able to assemble and to learn different parts of our family and how we are connected to each other. I am Mary L Meredith. I was born in New Kent County, May 1942, to the parents of John and Isabel Smith Meredith of New Kent and Brooklyn, New York. I was Christian at Rising Mount Zion Baptist Church at 6 months old. From there, we left from there in St. Peter's District and went to Cumberland area. And at the early age of 9 years old, I joined New Elam Baptist Church. And from there, I attended Cumberland Elementary School and George W. Watkins High School in Quinton, Virginia. After graduation, I came to Richmond and to attend a business college at 312 East Clay Street. And from there, I went to Internal Revenue and had classes in accounting, inventory, receiving, and taxes. After my position at Internal Revenue, they were all temporary, but still I got over 6 years of government with Internal Revenue. From Internal Revenue, I went to the United States Post Office as one of the first 10 clerks to do the zip code machine, a lot of machining. I stayed there approximately 7 years, and from the United States Post Office, I got a job at Bellwood, and when I retired from Defense General Supply as assistant supervisor in contracting and production. And when I graduated, I had various scholarships, and one of the scholarships that I attained from George W. Watkins was to Tuskegee, Alabama, and Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia. And I've also had scholarship to Virginia Union University and Durham College in Durham, North Carolina. And due to the circumstances of all the riots was going on at the time in 1962 and 1963, I was unable to attain these scholarships. And in the meantime that I am retired, but I'm still working under the Richmond Electoral Board for Highland Park, area number 64, and I'm an election officer and also a machine operator for voting. And in the prior years, I had served 20 years as a notary public for the Commonwealth of Virginia. I've been a real estate consultant for the late W.E. Robinson Real Estate Company, and I have graduated from the Federal and State Income Tax People's Tax School. Now, this is how I have researched and did my connection of my ancestors to be in the Coles, Lemons, Miggins, Williams, Winfrey, and Woodson family. Phyllis Twine was my great aunt, and she married Washington Miggins. And out of this marriage, there was 12 siblings, and these 12 siblings became first cousins to my mother. Bessie Miggins was the daughter of Washington Miggins, and she married Andy Woodson, and there was 12 siblings. And out of those 12 siblings, that relationship became with the Woodson. The 12 children she had were Woodson. Hattie Miggins, she married Wilson Meredith, and he was my great uncle. And from there, the birth of the children that Hattie Miggins had under her marriage, they became relatives. Delilah Miggins, she was the granddaughter of Cleveland and Parthenia Osborne Miggins, and she married my great uncle Patrick Meredith. And there was children within this marriage, and they became relatives under Delilah Miggins' children. Mitchell Miggins married my aunt, Lou Ethel Smith, out of Newport News. And yeah, she was the aunt. And he was the son of Alfred and Fanny Miggins. His ancestors went back to Alfred and Fanny Miggins. Then there was the son of the Lila Miggins, married my aunt Marion Smith, and he was Jake Meredith. Then the Lila Miggins' other twin sons, Joseph Crump and Thomas Crump, one married my first cousin Bessie Smith, and the other married Geneva Smith, and they were two sisters. Then James Miggins married my father's first cousin, Ida Bell Crump. And out of that marriage, her children were Miggins, and they became related to me. William H. Winfrey Jr. married June Robertson, the granddaughter of Ida Bell Miggins, and that brought in the Winfrey family. And I had the great aunt, Mary Jane, and her first marriage was to Albert Williams. And she had one daughter, Alice Williams, that married Samuel Woodson, and that they had 10 siblings, and those 10 siblings of the Woodson family became related to me. The second marriage she had was Thomas Miggins, and he was from Oliver and Matilda Miggins, and there was 4 children. So those children became Miggins, and that particular set of children became related to me under the Miggins. The third marriage was Wilson Cole, and she had one son, Colonel Wilson Cole, and which she married Florence Winfrey, and that's how Ailey's Numbers and those group of families became related under the Winfrey. And Dorothy Moody married Harry Williams, and she was the granddaughter of my great aunt, and that brought the children that she had under Harry Williams related to me. Yeah, I have one more, John and Rachel Miggins, and their daughter Mary Miggins married my first cousin Charles Wesley, and those children within that marriage became related to me. And Clement Miggins, he was the son of Washington Miggins, and he married Rosa Crump, which was my daddy's first cousin, and that made his children related to me under that. So that is the relationship on how that I am listed under the Williams, Winfrey, and those in the organization. Oh, and I do want to touch this. This is information that could be feasible to the family. Estelle Garrett. She was born February 1921, and she was the granddaughter of Thomas Smith Jr., but he was born in 1866. And Fanny Burrell Smith, she was born October. She's 90 years old, and she was the granddaughter of a person born in 1860. So all of these is over 100 years old. And Lucille Manning, she was born in 1924, and she was the great-granddaughter of an individual born in 1848. And I have Mary Smith. Mary Smith and Charles Stocks, they are the grandparents of Lula Langley, and Lula Langley is the granddaughter. She's the original granddaughter of a person that was born in 1859. And I want to thank you for giving me a chance to be able to sit on the national board, which is a great honor to me to be selected as a candidate to be on the national. And I want to thank each and every one of the family members that have been down through the years and been participating in our family reunions. And thank you, Mr. West, for this interview.